Although he's a slightly slower version of the build, I would say. Going up to the top rope with the wingmate rock.
Ah, wow. It's 3 Sarkans, too. So he is going to the skies. The nice thing about Mardu is there are a lot of different ways you can build this deck. Yeah, your core cards, Butcher the Horde, seems like it's an auto-include, as is Crackling Doom. Those are the cards that kind of draw you to it. But you can go a lot of different ways after that. I suppose all of them will play copies of Nomad Outpost, too.
Yes.
Temple of Triumph here for Owens, however. He will leave the top card on top very quickly. Both these players sitting at 8-0. One of them will likely have the pleasure of drawing against Tom Ross, unless I suppose Tom is feeling frisky. Not sure. Here's a Bloodstained Mire.
Well, Tom's in the spot where he might be able to do the free roll, which is you play round 10 hoping to win. In that event, you get the number 1 overall seed. And if you lose, you take your draw next round.
Yep.
So you maybe risk a little bit of seeding by doing it that way instead of taking the double draw, but it has the upside of being the first overall seed, which is enormous.
A Brain Maggot here from Ferguson. We'll take a look at Owens' script. And Hostilities is the only card he can select.
I was about to say that Hostility is probably not going on that Brain Maggot. I can't imagine that's the best card in David's hand here, but never mind.
2 Nomad Outposts, a Temple of Silence, and 2 Bloodstained Mires. So yes, Brain Maggot will get in Hostilities. And we will continue along here in game number 3. Owens will draw a card. It's a copy of Seeker of the Way, right on time.
I mean, yes and no. It's good. It's good for him to draw.
It's a turn 2 play. It's something to do.
I think at this point David would prefer removal to creatures, but trying to give himself the time to find something powerful.
Sure.
Yep, I think this is probably a draw he'll take, though.
There's your Seeker. Pass the turn back. Ferguson will draw to Temple of Triumph. He does have a Battlefield Forge in the grip as well. So he is moving along swimmingly here as far as lands are concerned. Looks like he may be going with the Temple this turn. There's a Lightning Strike. I do hope that he scries here, and doesn't look like he did. Oh, no.
Yeah, I mean,
he missed the trigger. We're way past it.
We have a pretty liberal interpretation in general compared to 10 years ago what a missed trigger constitutes, but when you lightning strike something and then attack, I think we're pretty safely past the point where you can scry.
Perhaps maybe he thought that was a Nomad Outpost. Hopefully it doesn't come back to hurt him, even though he did draw a land this turn, so that could have been avoided potentially. As here's another attack for 1. Owens will draw a card. He's not being punished for, I don't say a sketchy keep, but just a keep with lands, and could have gotten maybe run out of the gym there by a Butcher of the Horde, but he's doing okay.
No, all is well. He's got a couple removal spells in hand, and he's not up to much.
This could be a matchup where, because it's so attrition, all you want is lands.
Exactly.
Because you know you're going to be targeted by discard effects. Speaking of which, here's another copy of Brain Maggot. Owens is looking at Anger the Gods, and he's saying, hope you don't take that, but he probably has to take it now.
Exactly. Then David's in a position where he has to lightning strike the Brain Maggot to unlock the Anger, and then you're trading 1 for 1.
Here's Brain Maggot attacking in. Strike it. And Hostility is going to go back to the grip.
These Brain Maggots, I do question their inclusion in the list, but I can say this, in the mirror match, they are drawing out removal spells.
That's not so bad, right? There is a Sorin. That's going to come in. Will it make a vampire? A little bit risque.
Definitely some risky business, but I guess he does have the option of just of plussing it. It's hard for Andy to advance his board in the face of the sweeper, and then make Andy try to slog through the Sorin.
Yeah, it also forces him probably keep in check with the Brain Maggot.
Yeah.
Hit it for 1 over and over and over again, because it's not hard to get to the ultimate for that card. There's the Thoughtseize, bye-bye in Hostility. It's just 2 lands, Nomad Outpost, and a Bloodstained Mire. Ferguson, of course, going to take 2 from the Thoughtseize. And now there's Stormfist Dragon. The coast is clear, and Sorin is no longer with us.
I gotta say, maybe it's a small sample size, but these Sorins against Andy have been pathetic.
They've been horrible.
This round and the previous round we had him on camera. They have done nothing.
Mountain the draw, pass the turn back. On the flip side, Stormfist Dragon has looked great.
Yes.
Here's an attack. Get you for 5. Owen's going to go down to 12, it looks. Crackling Doom, and I believe Blood-Soaked Champion in the hand here for Ferguson. I think he may be considering just holding steady with the champion.
Well, I think he respects the possibility of getting hit by Anger or something happening to the Brain Maggot, but I don't mind casting it.
I want to put the pressure on. Because as it stands right now, it's still a 3-turn clock.
Yeah.
Chain of the Rocks, the draw. There's a Bloodstained Mire. chain, not the best draw in this situation. Can take care of the maggot, get the anger of the gods back, but not an answer to that Stormbreath Dragon.
Another element I love about Andy's deck is the absence of Chain of the Rock. His removal is much easier to cast. It also can go to the face, which is really good when you're supplementing it with more early pressure like Bloodsoul Champion.
So there's your chain. Get the anger back, pass the turn back. Here's an attack.
There we go. It is, after all, chained to the rock.
Not chained to the playmat.
Not chained to the playmat.
Be a fun card.
Chained to the red zone.
Let's see what else Ferguson has this turn. No 7th mana yet here for the Stormbreath Dragon monstrosity activation.
Andy showing a lot of respect for a sweeper. Makes you wonder if he saw one in game 2.
This is the big reason that I like Crackling Doom in this deck a lot too. Like if I'm in this situation, I have a Crackling Doom in my hand, I don't feel like I can possibly lose.
Yeah.
I get to kill your creature and ding you for 2. There's a Stoke the Flames plus the attack. That's going to do it. So Andy Ferguson's going to win this match over David Owens. 2 games to 1. He's our Mardu aggro player that is unstoppable. 9-0. Likely paired against Tom Ross next round. We'll see if those players do draw. But Mardu aggro, a lot of the top tables after talking with Nick Miller in the sideboard, he says, look, we're going to inevitably run into this.